Good morning, everyone. I do not like speaking in front of people. My sister said no. But I remember 2 weeks before Sinestra asked me to speak, I prayed and asked God to take me out of my comfort zone because I have a nonprofit and I have to be able to speak in front of people. So when she asked me to speak, I was obedient because I know that somebody needs to hear my story. My sisters know, Sinestra knows firsthand because she picked me up, she went there with me. But this is my first time telling my story after I started my nonprofit publicly. So, I will get started. My ex-husband was the love of my life and essentially my everything. I would have gone to the ends of the earth for him. I was putty in his hands because I was so vulnerably in love with him. Loving him made me crazy, not in a bad way, in a beautiful, earth-shattering way. It made me experience feelings that I didn't even know were possible. I never knew I could feel so deeply for a person until he came in my life. We were head over heels in love with each other. As time went by, we started to have problems like any other relationship. In July 2017, we got married. A few weeks later, things started falling apart when the family came into play. He resented me and treated me so differently for about a month. In November, his uncle came to town. Things definitely turned around for the worse. He started staying out all hours of the night. Girls would call him his phone, arguments about it. He was using drugs and would fight me because I was accusing him of doing drugs and he said he wasn't. In January 2018, he overdosed and I had him transported to the hospital for treatment. 3 days later, I got a call from a police officer saying he flipped his truck 6 times, but he didn't have a scratch on him. I then decided to call his PO. I had to make a very hard decision. I told his PO I was trying to save his life and she needed to put him on color code. This was my move, like I said, to save his life and to get him to stop using, but it didn't work. Soon he was arrested. A few weeks later after he was arrested, I got a call from a girl. She stated that she was pregnant. This broke me in so many pieces, and that is when I got invited to this house. This is where my healing began. I decided that I was tired of living my life around him, and I need to stop doing things my way and do things God's way. I also started planning and the preparation for my nonprofit. While I was there, he decided that his marriage mattered more than the streets, so he went to rehab. And when he was released, he started doing good the first couple of months. In January is when my nonprofit launched. 2 days after that, I found out he was cheating on me. I told him I was done. I had to be an example for the children of this community, so I could no longer allow him to, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but I could no longer allow him to belittle me, disrespect our marriage any longer. That turned into a really, really bad fight, really bad. Sinestra actually had to come get me. I told him that we were separating, but I didn't think that I had biblical grounds for divorce. So I went back and forth for about 2 weeks, reading scriptures, talking to all my sisters, trying to figure it out. And then God came to me in a dream, and he basically told me I had to leave. He showed me that I was going to be viciously attacked. Then I came to the Bible study, and then I got home, and when I got home, he acted a fool. So I told him that I was done. I was broken, lost, confused. And I was so upset because I gave him another chance to break my heart, because 2018, I was in a position where I was going to leave, but I allowed him back in to break my heart all over again. This man that I was once madly in love with had done everything he could to break me. In the beginning, I didn't think I would be able to make it through. It was the worst pain I ever felt. Everything that I knew about my future and myself was shattered. I was in a stage of depression. They put me on depression pills. I had suicidal thoughts. I was in a really, really, really bad place. But it was certainly God that got me through. Everyone kept saying to me, time heals all wounds. My sisters in Christ, the sisters of this house, I couldn't bring myself to believe them at first. They kept encouraging me and speaking life into me and interceding on my behalf. I went to counseling, studying the word. I also started reading the Bible for myself, praying and having worship sessions daily. I started my healing process and developing a relationship with God all over again. So now, I thank God for my broken heart. If he hadn't, I wouldn't have known what it was like to hit rock bottom and then pick myself up from there. If I didn't know how it feels to reach my lowest point, I wouldn't fully understand how strong I am and how much resilience I possess. I'm thankful for my broken heart because now I know my worth. I'm worth so much more than he was willing to give me. I thank God for giving me this remarkable experience of loving and losing. I've never felt more emotions in my life. I've also never felt more accomplished. I think a part of me will always love him, but I know every part of me will forever feel grateful that he loved me, broke my heart, and God showed me what I'm really made of. Genesis 50:20 says, you intend to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives, and God has truly, truly turned my life around.